So thank you, Professor Mosqueda, for that wonderful introduction. Again, my name is Abigail Lopez. I'm a fourth-year double major in art and sociology and a minor in education. So for my research today, I will be presenting on the role of college preparation programs, the impact that they have on Latinos and African American youth. So as a product of Compton Unified District, I realize that it's a privilege to be up here and presenting in front of you all. When I was a high school student, I participated in a program named MESA. And MESA provided me with the necessary tools that I needed to achieve college. These tools are knowledge and skills that many students in my community go through their school career without. So for my FMP research, I wanted to research the impact that participating in a college prep program can have on Latinos and African Americans' educational achievement. So my title for this presentation is College Preparation Programs, Mathematical Achievement and Educational Aspirations of Latinos and African American Youth. A quick overview of what I will be presenting for you all today, my research questions, a quick case study, my literature review, methodology, and my findings, conclusions, and lastly, my implications. So my first research question is, how does participation in college preparation programs help Latinos, and African American students attain mathematical achievement? My second question is, how important are students' educational aspirations when participating in such a program? So, as a case study, I look at my own high school. In Compton, I went to a high school called Dominguez High. And Dominguez High was very interesting because it's very well known, but it's known for its football stars and basketball stars. Dominguez High has produced a couple of students that go on to the NFL, and NBA, but all of the attention goes to these football stars and basketball stars instead of academics. So while I was in high school, I noticed any type of funding that we would get would go straight to our gymnasium. Nothing would be talked about academics. So when you look at some of the demographics of Dominguez High School, about 95% of students are eligible for free or reduced meals, and only 19% of its 12th graders are actually taking the SAT. That's not to say that all these 19% are going to a university, but those are the only 19 that are being prepared to attend a four-year university. The dropout rate at Dominguez High for Latinos is 27.7, which is a little over the average of the California rate, which is 21%. And for African Americans, it's 28.6. And Pacific Islanders is a high 66.7. But this is because the number of Pacific Islanders at Dominguez High is very low. So when a couple drop out, the rate seems very high. Also, about 4% of the students go to a UC, 14% go to Cal State, and about 19% go to community college. But these numbers can be a bit deceiving since in Compton, we have a Compton Community College, which many students enroll but drop out after one semester. So Dominguez High School does have some characteristics that can categorize it as an urban school. It has a high rate of poverty, as a high proportion of students of color, a high proportion of students who are English language learners, and also these students who are considered to be at-risk students. So in order to address this problem, Dominguez High presents 5 outreach programs to help these students. The 5 programs are CalSOAP, California Student Opportunity and Access Program, CSMP, California Subject Matters Projects, EAOP, Early Academic Outreach Program, MESA, which stands for Mathematics, Engineering, Science Achievement, and the TRIO programs, which consist of Educational Opportunity Centers, Talent Search, and Upward Bound. So defining urban and inner city youth. The problem with using the term urban is that historically, it only refers to geographic attributions. So you only hear it saying, this is an urban community or urban space. but more recently it has become a euphemism when referring to low-income African Americans and Latinas. So now in education you hear terms such as urban education, urban schools. And one of the problems with this is that many students in these urban schools are typically underachieving. So I specifically look at mathematics achievement in high school, mainly because Latinos and African American students are already underachieving in these subjects. Mathematical achievement is important because it's so closely associated with school failure or success. So depending on your math performance, it could be a strong indicator of high school graduation and college enrollment. So what the literature presents is that one of the high school levels that you reach in mathematics while you're in high school could be a strong indicator of college graduation. So this is why, for my research, I decided to look at mathematical achievement. And in 2008, looking at the rates of Latinos and African Americans, this graph is separated into three categories. The first one to your left is equivalent to like remedial math, pre-algebra. The middle one would be like pre-calculus, and the last one is the most complex, so like AP calculus, multivariable calculus. And if you look at the numbers, Black and Hispanic, the highest numbers are on the first category. So what this slide tells us is that African Americans, Latinos are only achieving in the basic math skills. So looking at the history of college preparation programs, these programs were started in 1965 with the Higher Education Act. The first batch was the TRIO programs, which set out to help disadvantaged youth. The goal was to provide minority students with resources that can help them achieve in school. So since literature has already said these minority students in urban schools are underachieving, how can we help them? And they passed this act that would kind of help that. So for the purpose of this research, I focus on the following college preparation programs: Gear Up, MESA, Upward Bound, Talent Search, and AVID, which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. So my methodology. For my data, I decided to look at, to use the high school longitudinal study of 2009 provided by the National Center of Education Statistics. I'm working with the first year of the national representative sample of over 21,000 ninth grade students. The study focuses on understanding students' trajectories from the beginning of high school into post-secondary education. It includes surveys from students, teachers, parents, and school administrators. And students are tested in their mathematics and science scores. So it's important to remember that this study only allows me to look at the ninth graders. So my study only tracks the beginning stages of these students' trajectories. So for my methods, I used ordinary least square regression linear model. And this tests the relationship between multiple variables, and it creates the best fit lines across all data points. It also calculates the proportion of variance in the outcome explained by my predictor variables, which, in easier terms to understand, imagine a scattered plot that you don't really know what to make out of it, how to measure what you're trying to measure. What ordinary least squares regression linear model does is it creates a line across the best fit points, and it allows you to measure the variance easily. So developing my model, for my outcome variable, I used mathematical achievement, which was measured by math test score provided by the dataset. My two independent variables are participation in college preparation programs and students' educational aspirations, and this was measured by what the student answered in their survey. And my control variables were race, socioeconomic status, and gender. So together, this gave me the following model. So for my findings, I found that my model was significant, meaning college preparation does have an effect on students' mathematical outcome. And if you look to the graph, I did two models. And the first one allowed me to look that college preparation program is significant for students' achievement. And my second model allowed me to look at students' educational aspirations along with an interaction of both aspirations and college preparation programs. So Model 1 only tells me the effect that college preparation program has on ninth graders on its own. And by the number next to it, it indicates that students who are participating in these programs typically perform under the average. So for my Model 2, I examined students' educational aspirations along with college preparation participation simultaneously. And together, like, they had a statistical interaction that showed that program participants with higher educational aspirations achieve higher in math. So separate, college preparation program isn't really making a positive effect, but together with positive, good educational aspirations, it has a positive effect on students' mathematical achievement. So for my results, college preparation programs can help Latinos and African Americans' mathematical achievement. However, for my study, it's too early to tell the long-term effects. As I mentioned before, I'm only looking at the ninth grade level, so I can only tell the effect at the ninth grade level. I still can't look at the 11th grade level, 12th grade, and so on. I also found that students' educational aspirations proved to have a positive effect on students' mathematical achievement when combined with participation in a program. So for my conclusion, future research needs to examine whether college participation programs have a positive effect on math achievement in the 11th and 12th grade level. This research will illuminate whether or not these programs are accomplishing their goal or helping underserved youth. So for my implications, one of the things that, a question that I kind of dealt with myself was why would the results indicate that students underperform when participating in college preparation programs? And as I thought more about it, is that these are ninth graders who are participating in these programs because they're average achievers. So as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, these college preparation programs, which I'm focusing on, are targeting specific students who are underachieving. So looking at the ninth grade level would make sense that these students are slightly under the average. However, my findings suggest that the ninth grade providing experiences that focus on math support and raising educational aspirations can have a dramatic effect on future achievement. So, my future work will focus on the impact of college program participation individually and the effects of aspirations when these students reach the 11th grade and 1 year after high school graduation.